purposes. But there was a couple of particular kinds of machines that instead of using QR codes had what we called text recognition, so that you could print out a ballot, check your ballot to see which names you selected, and then that ballot went into the machine, and instead of it reading a QR code, it would actually read the text that you were able to check. So those machines were available at the time. They could have been chosen. Now, when the debate came up in the Ethics Committee, and I know a number of you were here during that time, some of you weren't, but I carried an amendment that eliminated the QR code in the law, because I was very concerned, as were many constituents, that you cannot check a QR code. But you can check the text that's in the ballot. I offered this amendment, and the amendment was voted down on party lines. I remember saying at the time that this was going to come back and bite you all, and it has. Now, shortly after that, I remember that the Senate Democrats were in a retreat, and a gentleman from the Secretary of State's office came to talk to us about the contract for the new voting machines. It was stated at that time, in my memory, that once the technology was approved for this particular voting machine that we ended up buying, the Dominion machines, that once the technology for text recognition was approved, that it was within the contract that was approved by the EAC, which is the Election Assistance Commission. That's the regulatory body that approves new voting technology. Once Dominion got that approval for text recognition, that the contract that was entered into in Georgia would eliminate the QR code. So I was really happy to hear that. And all we were doing was waiting on the EAC. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And this never happened. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But at this point in the game, the time for that has passed. The window is closed. We spent $120 million on these machines. I believe that was bond funding, so we're still paying for it. The technology didn't get approved, I guess. I don't know what happened. But all I know is we have an election around the corner, and there is not time to deal with all this new technology now. There was plenty of time to do it, but the Republicans chose not to. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the well.
Senator from the 23rd, would you like to close or give a 2-minute response? All right. Senator from the 55th, you have your light on. Senator from the 55th, you have your light on. Oh, you had a question. Well, Senator's yielded the well. All right, the previous question has been called. So we're at the posture of voting on this. All those in favor of the adoption of the committee substitute, on the adoption of the committee substitute authored by the senator from the 23rd, all those in favor will vote yay, all opposed nay. Oh, is there objection? Objection. Secretary will unlock the machine. Senator from the 7th, what purpose do you rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. President, isn't it true that a QR code is just a fancy barcode, the same type of code you can find on a can of peas or the back of your driver's license?
Senator, I'm not sure about your question. On the passes of the bill, the yeas are 31, the nays are 22. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed by substitute. I'm glad y'all came back from lunch so spirited. I'm gonna let y'all go hungry next time. So, all right. I recognize the majority leader for a motion. Oh. Hold on. For the motion, I recognize the pro tem for an announcement.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. So Friday should be an easy day for us, but to add to that, we'll do John Bullock Day. So everyone wear your well-pressed blue jeans or whatever you want to accommodate that. So that'll be our dress code on Friday. Thanks.
Recognize the majority leader for motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reminder, tomorrow is Judiciary Day, so wear your finest, you lawyers in the room. The judges will be watching. Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, February the 7th.
The majority leader has moved. Secretary reads the announcements.
The State and Local Governmental Operations Committee will meet upon adjournment in 125. The Judiciary Committee will also meet upon adjournment in 307 of the CLOB. The Regulated Industries and Utilities Committee will meet in 450 at 4:30 p.m. and the Ethics Committee will meet in 307 of the CLOB at 5:30 p.m. The Rules Committee and Science and Tech Committee were both canceled. That completes the order, Mr. President.
Majority leader has moved that. Does any other senator have any other announcements? Oh, and recognize the Appropriations Chair for announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators, the House has passed the amended 24 budget out of committee. They'll be on the floor tomorrow. We will start our subcommittee meetings tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Please watch the calendar. If you have any questions, please grab me to the side. Thank you, Mr. President.
The majority leader has moved. The Senate will stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, February 7th. Remember, we have the State of Judiciary tomorrow, so remind you of that. All those in favor of the majority leader's motion will signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes clearly have it. Have a good day.